This is a big week for Bitcoin. We've got unemployment data for the market coming out on Friday. And right now, Bitcoin is back over $100,000. And so the question is the massive bull run back on? Are we going to go to new all time highs potentially this week or next week? That's what we're going to try to explore in this video. This is Crypto Simulation Theory. I'm the Gaussian Snake, and this is not financial advice. So if we look at Bitcoin on the daily time frame, it's a very busy picture. All right, so we have some bullish things and some bearish things in the TA, and I want to talk about both. Remember that technical analysis is not clairvoyance. So this yellow line is the 20-day whole moving average. The blue line or blue curve is the 50-day whole moving average. The white is the 100-day. The red is the 200-day. This green and red formation here is what's known as a Gunnar EMA bull market or bull market support band. This is a bearish cross, which flipped it to a bear market resistance band, and it's just had another bullish cross. So we couldn't possibly be in a more tricky situation. Let me explain what that is. Now, from a sort of a larger picture standpoint, it would be very concerning if we get too many daily closes kind of in the region where we're at now, because what that would put us in danger of is potentially getting a head and shoulders pattern on the daily. Okay, that's not a good thing. Something else that is also a little concerning is that the Gaussian channel is green, wide, and concave down. That's generally not bullish. Okay, so let me just say that as well. Now, there are some bullish things going on that I want to mention. The first is we just had a bullish cross on January 6th, which was yesterday, of the Gunnar EMA band. And for those of you who don't know what the Gunnar EMA band is, just an 11-day and 22-day exponential moving average, or EMA. And so we would say that on the daily time frame, Bitcoin has formed another bull market support band. We would like to see the averages, the shorter time frame average in green, start to really outpace the longer term time frame average. So we'll have to see what happens. Unfortunately, Bitcoin has been unable to get above its 200-day HMA, which sits at around 102.3K. We also have the 1.272 fib at 103.6K, and we have the 100-day whole moving average coming in at around 104K. I think a lot is going to depend on what happens with the unemployment data this Friday, but of course, there's forces at play beyond that as well. I think personally the unemployment data is going to come in okay, just because December was the holiday season, and typically there's a lot of temporary hiring that goes on during the holidays. I don't know how the Bureau of Labor and Statistics bakes their unemployment data, but I imagine that they would include some of those numbers. So I'm cautiously optimistic for Friday. We do have a golden cross of the 20-day with the 50-day HMA. It is a little concerning to see that the 100-day is really close to death crossing with the 200-day. So we're at a very pivotal point here in January. And I have said, I've been on record saying I'm open-minded to the idea of a red January. Okay. It's not really necessarily my base case for the whole month to be red, but if we look at kind of where we're at right now, and I mean, it doesn't even have to be, sorry, I'm drawing lines. I don't even know why. This is Bitcoin on the monthly. I'm going to turn off some of these moving averages because they're just honestly getting distracting. But I'm sure we can leave on the Gunnar. But you can see these are the monthly candles, and maybe I'll flip off the Gaussian channel too to try to make this easier to see. We did have a red month in December. We're having a green month now. I don't think that January has to close red for it to be kind of a not fun month. We could close green, but maybe like somewhere in here, or we could go above the 1.272 fib. I'm really not sure what's going to happen. A lot depends on, not only what happens with the inflation data, but we've got CPI, PPI, and then we also have the FOMC at the end of the month. So all that kind of factors in. Regardless, I'm still very bullish for February, and in general, bullish for quarter 1 on Bitcoin and everything else in the crypto space. So I am kind of curious to see how this month is going to play out. I'm really not sure right now. Like I said, if we go to the daily time frame, there are some concerning signs that we already kind of pointed out. If we zoom out to the weekly, And I am getting over a cold, so if I sound a little nasally, that's why. Let's take a look at some of the moving averages on the weekly time frame. And again, we have good news and bad news. So the good news is, and I'll flip on the Gaussian channel, which is also concave down, but it looks like it's flipping back to concave up, which is suggesting that, and the concave down is from this move here. It's suggesting that we're back, back to being kind of bullish again. We have a golden cross of the 50-week and the 100-week. It's not unusual to dump into a golden cross. We haven't really seen that dump yet. I would not be shocked if it happened. The lower boundary of the weekly Gunnar EMA is coming up on the bottom of my red zone. I have a red zone I've had on here now, what feels like for months, between 84.5 and 88.5K as sort of a reset zone. The 20-week is starting to curl over. See, all these signs to me point to an incoming downtrend. So if you had to ask me, like, which way are you leaning right now? I think that Friday could bring a short-term pump if unemployment data comes in good, but I'm not confident yet that it would bring about a sustained change in trend just yet. I am skeptical about January at the moment. I think the more explosive move is likely to come in February. But I'm also like, I'm on the fence. It's like, I don't feel like I have enough data to really make my mind up one way or the other. But anyways, if you just kind of look, you can kind of see where I'm coming from here. The bull market still looks very much intact on the 2-week time frame for Bitcoin. So whatever does happen in the next few weeks, I think is fairly insignificant in the grand scheme of things. Because ultimately, I believe that even if we did have, let's say, a 2-week period where we did go down to like maybe this red zone or came down just a little bit, I don't think it'd be that big of a deal, honestly. We've seen periods before where Bitcoin would kind of go sideways and then just shoot straight up. And honestly, it could just shoot straight up after Friday. Be prepared for that. We are in a bull market, so this sideways action is probably not going to last for very long. Could we come down to the red zone? We could, but this is kind of my like worst case scenario. I think the median line of the Bollinger Band will be there by then, but we already kind of like straddled it. So do we really need to come all the way back down here again? I'm not sure. So, at the moment I'm just quite indecisive about what Bitcoin's going to do in the next few weeks, but I'm not worried because overall this just looks really bullish, especially on the 2-week time frame heading into the rest of Q1. There's no reason to really get concerned here. This is the 2-week reverse Chande momentum oscillator, or price momentum oscillator as I like to think of it. We've just been kind of crabbing around, but above the green line, so that's good. Signal line is green, and we had a really long cool off already, so we'll have to see where this goes. Obviously, if we did have a week or two of weakness, it could take us back to the signal line, but I imagine that would probably hold as support. And then I imagine this is going to reverse back to the upside. That's been kind of my base case, and it continues to be my base case as I remain very bullish for the first quarter of this year. So I'm not too worried, like I said, about what's going to happen in the next week or two. If we go down a little bit, so be it. If unemployment data surprises us or Bitcoin just drops a little bit for whatever reason, not a big deal. But we should be equally prepared for next week to bring some explosive price action. And I've gone on record saying that the earliest I could see Bitcoin getting explosive was anywhere between mid-January, which will be next week, to February. So that's been my base case for a while now. I've been saying it publicly, so I'll stick with it. I'm just feeling a little bit cautious around, some of the macroeconomic data coming out, but I think that's just, a reasonable thing to do. But yeah, I'm bullish on Bitcoin, and you can make your own mind up about it, but that's how I feel. So thank you for joining me for another episode of Crypto Simulation Theory. Please like, subscribe, and if you have anything you'd like to add, just comment down below. I'd encourage you to join my free Telegram group. Just click on the link in the video description. I'm also on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. So I'll see you in one of those places or back here on YouTube. But regardless, I'll see you in the crypto simulation. Happy investing. Bye.